Chiron is retrograde and is passing backwards through Aries 12. This is the flock of wild geese, expanding and expressing soul freedom. There exists a higher cosmic order which stands above, beneath and within everything that human society tries to control. It is this, that each of us is free. And when all of us expresses this soul freedom spontaneously and in good faith, then all is right in the heavens. Soul freedom. We never lose it. It's not taken away from us just because we've got physical bodies. It's just more difficult to overcome the heaviness of physicality for most of us. And so the lag in time exists between what we choose and the arrival of that choice. And you might notice as you progress spiritually that time lag reduces. And in fact, if you can just immediately manifest what you want spontaneously, then you're at a very high state of attunement. And if you do this all the time, then you're close to realization. So what we're discussing here is the ability of the soul to rise above the constraints of ordinary life. And this is a tremendous skill and prize. If most people look at their lives, they look for the difficulties. They complain about their physical health or their job or their relationship, and they just don't see that that's just an attitude of mind, because all of those things could be seen from a more positive perspective. And little by little, some of us just train ourselves to speak on that more positive note. And then we start to think that way, because as you speak, so you think. And it works that way round. We don't really have a thought and then speak it. We speak something and then understand what we've just said, I would suggest. And certainly you can train yourself to speak only a certain way, only with optimism and faith and confidence, positively. And then you think that way. And as you do that, you'll notice these issues that you've got, they become less heavy. They may even not become issues. They might be solved because of this lightness of being, but you just don't give them your time and attention. And that's the workaday practical way to realize this highly spiritual wisdom. I'll read also from Rudyard today, and his background training clearly emphasizes the Hindu tradition, and he quotes that within this understanding. Aries 12, a triangularly shaped flight of wild geese, an idealistic reliance upon a mental image of universal order. The wild goose is the mystical bird, Hamsa, of Hindu tradition. This word, which has recurred in various cultures, like the Hansa League of Germanic cities in the late Middle Ages, has always had at least an undertone of integration at an expansionist level, spiritual or economic. The Hindu Hamsa was the symbol of man's transcendent soul. What previous interpretations of this Sabian symbol have failed to grasp is that the flight of geese presents not only a remarkable geometric V-shaped moving through the sky, but also that this flight is seasonal and therefore attuned to planetary rhythms. Thus, it symbolizes cosmic order, in contrast to the socio-political order within a nation, which is represented by its ruler, which was the previous Sabian symbol. It is order made visual on the background of the clear sky. It is a celestial type of order, even though it is earth-born birds which reveal it by their ability to keep their flight structured. The symbol therefore refers to the soul consciousness as visualized by the heaven-oriented mind. Yet this soul consciousness can be called transcendent because it has not yet become incarnated. This is what soul consciousness means, isn't it? We raise our awareness to the cosmic order. Now, when we have that awareness, we know that all things are connected. Therefore, what I do comes back to me. What I serve, how I serve the world is how it serves me. And everyone is a part of the same thing that we're part of. So we don't blame and hurt other people. We forgive and help other people. We don't expect ourselves to be limited by incarnation. We know ourselves to be free of that on the soul level. And we're just observing what it's like to carry the burden of this physical body. We observe that, but we observe it with the idea, the understanding that it's just what we're doing for the time being, and it won't last that long, and then it will be gone in a moment, and we'll be back into our normal realm of freedom. So having this awareness of soul consciousness moves us into a different way of being. And Chiron is there. Chiron's ability and teaching and essential purpose is to shift our perception, specifically from negative to positive. And here we have Chiron going through a very sort of clear spiritual message. Why don't you open up to the spiritual forces, the cosmic order? The geese move according to the planetary rhythms, and they form a structure in the sky. In other words, the sky would represent a kind of spiritual approach. The V-shaped of the geese represents the attempt to bring order to that, cosmic order. And tuning in to that is what we're doing with this degree. And Chiron is very useful for that. Chiron can stop us from being clogged down in the urgency and need for logic, and just allow ourselves to see things differently. It is perhaps controversial that the spiritual realms also have structure. A lot of people teach differently, but it is taught within Sufism that realm has structure too, and we can make ourselves aware of that structure using certain types of meditation, including the transcendental aspects of Sufi practice. And so we can move into this realm of non-physical, and we find that there's more than one realm. There are gradations of realms, and you can move through them and experience them in your imagination and in your feeling body. And there's something else that awakens, some kind of subtle mind body that knows what cannot be known by the gross mind. And you move through these more and more and more subtle frames of reference for the nature of reality. And that is the structure of the cosmic order, seen one way through the lens of seven planes of consciousness. But there are also structures of light, which can be seen. You know, the Sufi emblem is shown often as the heart with two wings, and this is what certain people see when they look at somebody who's done a lot of Sufi practice. They notice that the heart has got lights coming out either side, very similar in shape to wings, and so on. So there are things that we can see when we're on spiritual retreat, which we can't see when we're in the marketplace. And there are some things that some people can see that other people can't see. And it is taught here that if we open up and look, we can see more than if we don't look. And this was repeating a message given by the position of Pluto recently. So a double whammy message here. This is a good time to move up to a higher level of consciousness when you feel yourself to be a soul, and therefore free of all the burdens that you've perceived in your life, they're not there. They don't exist. They only exist here, and you put them onto your situation so that you can see what burdens you're carrying in your mind. But if you move into this heightened consciousness, as you do in spiritual practices, in meditation and so on, you move away from the earthly concerns, and you're free. Your mind is free, and it is the source and goal of all freedom, to free the mind. And the mind, when it's free, creates a life which is free. So Chiron retrograding through this image of the flock of wild geese, change your mind about your burdens and your troubles, and like focus on the fact that you're actually free. Even on the level of mind, you can think what you choose to think. On that level, at least start there. But you'll find that spreads out. The more you concentrate on freedom within the cosmic order, the closer you'll get to realizing that in your everyday life, and being joyful about that. It's a wonderful feeling to feel the freedom of a bird in flight, I imagine.